What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be attempting Tamagoyaki. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically a type of layered Japanese grilled egg. So without further ado, let's begin. The recipe for this is actually quite simple. All the ingredients and the quantities are listed on screen right now. When you're ready, grab yourself a bowl and a strainer. Now if you're using a smaller strainer, then just crack fewer eggs into it. You'll notice that my bowl has a spout, which makes pouring the egg mixture a lot easier later on. Grab yourself a spoon and start mixing the whites and the yolks. You don't want to use a fork or a whisk because that beats in too much air, and bubbles will affect the texture of your final product. What you want is a relatively smooth mixture, and the strainer helps to do just that. Now add in your mirin, your soy sauce, your stock, a pinch of salt, a pinch of sugar, and mix it together. Now the solution will look a little bit murky, but trust me, it will come out fine. Place a Tamago pan over medium-high heat, pour in some oil and make sure it is well coated. Put a little dab of egg to make sure it's hot enough and pour in about half of the mixture. It should start bubbling almost immediately. Let the eggs set for a bit, pull in the cooked sides and tilt your pan to allow the runny solution to fill in the little pockets. Repeat this until it's about 80% cooked. We're going to use the remaining 20% of uncooked solution to act as a glue. When it looks like this, prepare for a flip. Using the edges of the pan as well as a spatula, push the egg into the corners to form a rectangular shape as it sets. Re-oil the pan, pour in almost all your solution, reserving a bit, you'll see why later. Pop any bubbles and repeat the process we did earlier. Once it's about 80% cooked, you can prepare to flip it again, nice and easy. Since you guys succeeded in flipping it the first time, you should have no issues flipping it the second time. No issues at all.
Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Just kidding, this can be fixed. Flip the egg using your spatula and pushing it towards the edges of the pan, keep it as rectangular as possible. The uncooked egg will help stick all the broken pieces back together as it sets. After about a minute, the bottom should have set pretty nicely and it will look something like this. You don't have to flip it, but for demonstration purposes, I will. For those of you who flipped your egg, well, flip it back again and pour in your leftover mixture. Tilt the pan and using your spatula, do your best to keep the mixture under the cooked egg. Remember to use the edges of the pan to keep the egg as rectangular as possible. The pan is your friend. As you can see, we have more or less fixed our earlier mishap, except for that little small crevice in the corner. Pour in any excess egg and let it set. Spend the next minute or two using the edges of the pan to keep your egg as rectangular as possible. Now you may need to flip the egg once or twice to ensure it doesn't brown too much on either side. When you're ready, remove it from the pan, let it cool for a bit, and it should be nice and bouncy like this. If you want to be fancy, you can trim off the sides like I'm doing here, because I guess I'm a bit fancy, but you don't have to, it just makes it look a little bit better. Now you can eat this warm, or put it in the fridge and chill it overnight. Both ways are totally fine by me. This is definitely not the easiest of dishes and it may not be super beginner friendly, but it's well worth the effort and the practice. One thing to note is that if you prefer your egg a bit sweeter, add a bit more sugar obviously. But as for the quantities, this will be up to your personal taste, so there is a bit of trial and error involved. So there you have it, how to make Tamagoyaki. If you enjoyed the content, remember to hit that like button, share the video, let everyone know, leave a comment down below whether you succeeded, whether you failed, whether you didn't care at all, or maybe let me know what you would like to see in the future. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.